King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burst flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking over recklessly, thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burst flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion. The walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the burst flame, and the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be the greatest, you can
Test. I'm gonna need you hooligans over here to just calm it down. Jake Ely, my nephew is bigger than you, so shut your face. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the 2025 Hall of Fame. Lima is a city steeped in professional wrestling history. It's played a significant role in the sport. In the 1980s, Memorial Hall hosted events featuring renowned wrestlers from Detroit's big-time wrestling promotion. These events showcased legendary figures like Bobo Brazil, The Sheik, and Flying Fred Curry. Stop! I'm not scared of you. I'm definitely not scared of her. It's further solidifying Lima's connection to the professional wrestling world. In the mid-1990s, Lima gained prominence in the wrestling world through Al Snow. He's a native of the region and a former WWE and ECW star. From 1995 to 1997, Snow operated the Body Slammers Wrestling School in Lima, training inspiring wrestlers like D'Lo Brown, who later achieved fame in the WWE. This facility played a pivotal role in nurturing future wrestling talents. Lima has also hosted events for the Heartland Wrestling Association, the HWA, a respected independent promotion. On September 23rd, 1998, the tag team Surf and Turf Connection, comprising of Chip Fairway and Cody Hawk, clinched the HWA Tag Team Championship in Lima, Ohio. This victory was a momentous occasion in the city's wrestling history. Wrestling is more than a show. It's a brotherhood, a sisterhood, and a family. Like any family, we face challenges, failures, and triumphs. We've been fortunate enough to have some of the greatest wrestlers to ever grace our locker room and rings, including Jon Moxley, Seth Rollins, Motor City Machine Guns, and Nigel McGuinness. I want to thank you, the fans, because without you, the ones who cheered, booed, bought a ticket, tuned in month after month, none of us would be here tonight without your support. You gave us purpose, you gave us passion, and you gave us a reason to push through the pain and sacrifice for this art that we love. To the individuals behind the scenes, the referees, the camera crew, my awesome ring crew and staff, the ticket takers, that's me, and those who never receive enough credit. You keep the engine running, allowing us to put on an incredible show for our fans. This honor is also for you. And to the wrestlers, managers, and valets here tonight, never forget the reason you started. Respect the ring and those who came before you. Give this business your all, because if you do, it will reward you beyond your wildest dreams. All right, now I'm going to present the Unsung Hero Awards. We have 4 of them that were given out tonight. 3 of them are going to go to who us staff calls the Goof Troop. So, with these guys, they are goofy as hell. Ain't even gonna lie to you. But they are solid and they are dedicated to war wrestling. So with that being said, if you guys could give a round of applause to Kenny Shiflett, Jacob Hadding, and Scott Lamb. Our fourth Unsung Hero Award goes to Ryan Miller. He's our camera guy. He's the one that puts all the footage and the production together for everybody to enjoy our shows on YouTube, for the wrestlers to show their matches. So if everybody could thank Ryan for all of his hard work for us. I think he's coming out through the back. Thank you so much. All right, one of our inductees into the Hall of Fame is Scotty Saber. Not a chance, Tommy, sorry. Scotty couldn't be here tonight because unfortunately he has COVID. So I will accept his award on his behalf. In the meantime, I would like to bring out the next presenter for the Hall of Fame. I'm gonna bring out Travis Volts. Travis means a lot to Tom and I. We have known Travis for many years, and he is literally part of our family. So without further ado, if we could have Travis come on out to present the...
Hello. As you heard from Christine, my name is T. Volts, and I wrestled here about 25 years ago. I was part of those mid-90s Al Snow classes that she was talking about. It was a long time ago. But I want to talk about our next inductee, who I first met in a wrestling ring not too far north of Lima here in the 1990s. He was my opponent in that match, and I knew nothing of him at the time beyond a reputation that called him the king of the nighttime world. By the time the match was over, I knew I had been in a battle. Both during that initial encounter and many times to follow, I recognized that Tommy Wonder had the gift of gab. Not your stereotypical athlete, Tommy blended his unique style in the wrestling moves with undeniable charisma. Over the next few years, we often found ourselves on the opposite side of the ring through our many tag team encounters. And while his team always seemed to find their way to the pay window, I was happy to report that my partner, not me, was the one who often suffered Tommy's team's finisher, the Vegematic. In the wrestling ring, Tommy Wonder was stiff, a known potato dealer. In fact, it wasn't all that long ago that he stood on my neck in a battle royal in that very ring. Yet although he could hurt you in the ring, I realized for many years after it wasn't his stiff shots that I would remember the most of him. Despite us living in different parts of the world and from different backgrounds, What started as an in-ring rivalry eventually turned into an unbelievable friendship. Tommy Wonder went from a wrestling brother to a brother in Christ. A man's man who would give you the shirt off his back, even though it would probably be fluorescent pink, or as he'd say, a peacocking shirt. If you knew Tommy's story, you'd think he probably had no business entering the pro wrestling world, but he did. God took this lover of pro wrestling, like many of you, and gave him a heart that would not be denied. Someone who faced and beat the odds in becoming a professional wrestler and got the chance to live a childhood dream. There's not many people in this world that can say they made it to the ring, and even fewer who took a childhood dream and made it a reality. Friends, I find myself putting him over yet again. I give you the king of the nighttime world and my friend, Tommy Wonder.
He's putting me over, but they're playing his music, so that's good. First of all, I just want to say thank you all for being here, and it's great to be back in the place from 1995 till 2005 that I considered my home away from home. It's also great to see professional wrestling alive and well in this town, thanks to Tom, thanks to Christine, to all the crew, all the talent here and there and still back there. And most of all, because all of you, because you can have the best promoter, the best talent, the best crew, but if you guys don't come out to watch it, it's all for nothing. When I was a kid growing up, I was the class clown. All I wanted was attention. Look at me. There's probably some psychological reasons I had that, but I digress. One day, me and my teacher were capping on each other. I was happy she was willing to do it, not knowing until the end she always knew she was going to come out on top. She had a poster on the wall of a clown that was standing like this, and it said the difference between the clown and you is the clown gets paid. So for the rest of the class, I had to stand on the cabinet by that poster like this while all my classmates laughed at me. I noticed when I was up there that all my friends who usually hung around with me were hanging out with this girl named Cherie. And I didn't find out till later on that day it's because she brought a wrestling magazine to school. So when I got home, I told my mom, and I knew nothing about wrestling, that I needed 2 wrestling magazines. And she gave me the money. I went to the store, I bought 2 of them. I came to school the next day, I threw them on the table. I was once again the center of attention. That week, my stepdad and his friend happened to be watching professional wrestling, and I walked in, and on that night, Andre the Giant was getting his hair cut on national television. I sat down and watched it and became a fan ever since. How I became a wrestler. I was at the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. I was watching WWF at the time, and my friends all went to the merch booth at intermission, and in front of me was Coach Kurt, who was, if you guys aren't familiar with Detroit wrestling, he had a Detroit News article every week, and he had a hotline that you could call, and I called it as a kid all the time. I overheard him talking, and then when my buddies left, I asked him how to get involved in pro wrestling. He gave me Irish Mickey Noyle's number, and a week later, I was going to Can-Am Wrestling School, where I was trained by Irish Mickey Doyle, Canadian Destroyer Doug Chevalier, who, by the way, that's the reason that move is called the Canadian Destroyer, because he trained Petey Williams and Scott D'Amore. While we were training there, this Lima, Ohio, Al Snow School Body Slammers gym was the sister school, if you will. Where we were in Canada, there was no room to come off the top rope, so we came down here and did it. And from the first time I came here, it seemed like from that point on, I was down here 2-3 times a month wrestling. The first time I came down here by myself, the school was on High Street and the buzzer didn't work. So I'm trying to get in, no one's there. Across the street, there's a bar called the Bally High. It says you have to be 25 and older to get in, and I was 20. But I went in, The music stopped, everyone stared at me. I said, I need a payphone. They go, oh, it's right over there. I called, got up into the school. So years later, this guy came to the school, and I didn't know at the time that I would have a guy who was gonna lose every time he wrestled me from that point on, so I was very grateful. And then there's this guy, Craig. Where's Craig? This guy right here. I was a bad guy in Lima, Ohio. And one day I come out to wrestle, and there's this scattering of fans over there cheered me the whole night. I didn't know what was going on. I told them to shut up, they still cheered me. The next month, they're over there, and they're over here. And I go to the back, and the promoter says to me, stop getting cheered, you're a bad guy. So the next month, and I'm gonna let you behind the curtain, the promoter came up with the bright idea to get everyone to hate me again by having me come out and hit beautiful Brian Ireland with the title belt. So where's my favorite indie wrestler of all time, Mr. Main Event? Where's he hiding? Right there. I come out, I'm running so fast and hard that when I hit Ireland with the belt flew into the crowd. The next thing I hear is the entire place cheer. And I go, oh, this isn't good. Then I put Mr. Main Event on top of Ireland. He won the title, and they cheered again. And by the way, Brian Ireland was the most popular guy on the roster. From that point on in Lima, Ohio, I was a good guy. And believe it or not, as hard as I thought it was gonna be, and obviously you guys weren't around when my old self was down to wrestling in the 90s, Lima, Ohio made it very, very easy to be a good guy. This has always been my favorite town to wrestle. I'm grateful for all you guys here. And when I got the call to ask me if I wanted to be inducted, the answer was yes, and my first choice to induct me was this guy right here. And what you guys don't know is, that was a very hard ask. He lives in North Dakota, he has a family, and yet, here he is, he flew to Detroit, we drove down together, and here he is. And he mentioned, I've always had faith. I've always had faith, but I was never what you would call, I was not the church-going kind. And this guy about 8 years ago, when I was really down and out mentally, suggested I read a men's daily devotional that is geared towards men. I've read the Bible almost every day since, and it's because of him, and my faith is stronger than it's ever been. I'm not perfect, neither is he. But if it wasn't for this guy, there's a lot of things in my life that wouldn't happen outside of wrestling. So as grateful as I am for him in wrestling, this guy's more than a friend, he's a brother, I love him, and this wouldn't be the same without him. So, thank you. Thank War Wrestling, and thank you, Travis.
John Bluesman.
How's everybody doing tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Truth Martini, and I feel very comfortable tonight. Thank you. It's been a long time since I've been in Lima, and Lima's my second home, because in 1998 is when I started my wrestling journey. Right here in Lima. Great town. And tonight, I'm here to induct a very special someone. I've known him for a very long time. I've watched him from a teenager, through his 20s, through his 30s, and now through his 40s. Ever since he started wrestling, on the independent level, he gave his best, his very best, at what he did. And then he spent 10 years in the Ring of Honor, and he just gave his, that's right, give it up for him. Because he gave his absolute best. And then after that, a little career switch, because for 1.5 years he became a writer for the WWE. And then right after that, for 5.5 years, he became a writer for TNA Wrestling. And then, that's right. And then right after that, for 1.5 years, he was working for AEW. I mean, this man, in my very humble opinion, he is a wrestling genius. And he just, as far as he's concerned, he's just giving his best. But this man is a wrestling genius, and I want to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Zombie Princess, Jimmy Jacobs.
We're late on that. Jeez. It's been 20 years since I've been here in Lima, Ohio. How the hell you guys doing? I remember the very first time I came to Lima, Ohio. 26 years ago, I was 15 years old. I had just broken into the wrestling business, and me and a few of my buddies who were wrestlers came here to Lima. Not because we were booked on the show, but because we just wanted to get booked on the show. Because Lima, Ohio in the Midwest was like a little hotbed of wrestling, with Al Snow's school, with GWA's TV that eventually became WWWA, which eventually became War Wrestling. It was a hotbed with guys like the Alexis Machine and Brian Fury and Brian Ireland and Kid Copperpot and Mr. Main Event sitting right there. Jimmy V, Too Delicious, my boy, Truth Martini. Lima, Ohio is a hotbed, and so we were just trying to get on the show. I remember sitting in that little community center, just like nervous, just hoping that we would get on. I remember when the booker came up to me and said, "Jimmy, get your referee gear on, you're on the show." And I was so excited. I was so excited to be a part of it. Just to be a part of pro wrestling. To this day, I'm still excited to be a part of this. And Lima, Ohio always had a very special place in my heart. Because from 1999, when I first refereed here, to the later years, geez, it's been 20 years since I wrestled here. The audience, the crowd, you guys were always the best. The absolute best. All the wrestlers loved coming to wrestle in Lima, Ohio because of the audience. And Truth was very generous to call me a wrestling genius. I don't know if that's true or not, but I will give you some insight in what the secrets are of professional wrestling, a little how they do that. Because the way the magic is done, the way the magic is made, it's not about the wrestlers in the ring. It's not about the moves they do. It's not about the flashy costumes that they wear or the big words that they say. No, that's a means to an end. The true magic of professional wrestling comes from the audience. It's the symbiotic relationship between the performers and those that witness the performance. So thank you, Lima, Ohio, for being the mysticism behind the magic. And thank you, Tom, for thinking of me for the Hall of Fame. Thank you to everybody that came before me. A lot of guys that I mentioned, a lot of guys I know that are here, the old faces like Mr. Main Event and such. Thank you to all the new guys here, man. I'm looking at a lot of these faces. I have no idea who a lot of you guys are. But I know the road that you guys are going down because I went down that same road. I went down that same road night in and night out of performing in front of audiences. Hell, earlier today, I wrestled on a show in Michigan, then I drove 2.5 hours here because I still love being on that road. It's that road that led me to wrestle for Ring of Honor and work backstage in WWE and Impact Wrestling and AEW and all the little towns and little shows. I loved every minute of it. So, thank you, all of you. I know it's been 20 years, guys, but I never plan on stopping. I plan on doing this for as long as I can go. Which is all to say, I know it's been a minute, but I'll see you in another 20 years. Thanks, guys.
That concludes the Hall of Fame part of the show. We want to thank you all for showing up this early before the actual show to give these men the respect and the honor they deserve. But with that, can I kindly have the wrestlers make their way to the back so we can get ready to bring you War 22!
Chest. You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame, yeah. And the world's gonna know your name, yeah. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame. You can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. You could be the hero.